Hi, welcome back to Real Auto Reports. I'm Jonathan McGrew, and today we have the 2013 Lexus RX 450h. Yes, this is the hybrid Lexus crossover vehicle, and it has a lot of pretty cool features, and it should for the price tag. But we'll get to that later in our Real First Impressions video edition, so join us.
From the front, the 2013 Lexus RX 450h. Well, of course it is the hybrid because of the H designation, but from the front, what's really striking is the integration of the spindle grille, the persona of the Lexus brand. I've mentioned this in most of my Lexus reviews because they're pulling it through all of their new models. And really, that gives the front of the RX 450h a totally different look from the previous generation. It's got a larger, more presentable grille, if you will. It has more personality. It's a little more aggressive, and you can, in this shot, really see the LED lights that get added right there at the bottom of the headlights. You also notice that this has the high intensity discharge headlights, and you can see the fog lights and how everything integrates together. You get a nice chrome look from the edge of the spindle grille, yet the badge for the Lexus is prominently displayed there in the front. All very important when you're paying this much for a vehicle and when you're looking for that luxury status. From the side, you get a real sense of the difference of the front nose here. You see the approach angle, this very angular entry point for the front end, giving this a more beaky kind of front look and an aggressive approach angle, which allows this vehicle to look more sporty even though it is a hybrid. Although it is interesting to me that people react differently on first impression to this. It is definitely more aggressive than the previous generation. And something else that I like to point out is just the integration of the body lines down the side. This is a very slab side design. It's not as sculpted as some of the other Lexus family members in the sedans or in the SUVs. And I think it really shows when you come down the driver's door how smooth that curve is. Also notice the chrome accent strip, or the satin accent strip down along the bottom that has the hybrid logo in it. And then of course you have the matching roof rails and the integrated rear spoiler. All in all, I really like this vehicle from the side, and I think the changes for 2013 are quite nice. From the back, what you'll notice is that you have this integration of the taillight, the chrome strip there in the back, and the whole way this car comes together, well, I should say this SUV comes together in the rear, is quite nice. It feels like they've put a little bit more attention to detail here in the back than in previous generations. I like the way the taillights look. I like the way that the reflectors for safety are integrated well into the bumper. They don't super stand out at you even on this black vehicle, which is a real nice play. Also in the rear, you're going to have features like the integrated rear spoiler I mentioned before, the third brake light way up there under the integrated rear spoiler for safety as well. You're going to have your RX 450h badging, which is important when you want people to know you're driving a hybrid. And of course, this does have the full rear camera package on it, so you can see easier when you are reversing. I should also mention the power liftgate, which is becoming standard on most of these luxury CUV or SUVs. From the driver's seat, what you're going to find in this 2013 RX 450h is all of the luxury features you would expect from Lexus, including the upgraded, really high-end leather interior. You can see this is a two-tone with the saddle interior. You also have the navigation system upgrades. This vehicle also has a almost $5,000 dual screen rear entertainment system. That comes with the wireless headphones, all the audio video inputs, etc. It's just an amazing amount of accessories that are loaded into this vehicle. It also has, as I said, the $6,000 luxury package, which includes the one-touch open and close moonroof, your blind spot monitoring system, all sorts of things. The 19-inch alloy wheels, heated wood and leather steering wheel, scuff plates. I mean, it's just amazing what they've put into this vehicle. Of course, if you're a Lexus fan, you'll know it comes with the Mark Levinson premium surround sound system, and you'll have your satellite radio and all of the normal things like that. This vehicle also has the comfort package, which includes rain sensing wipers and the driver and passenger heated and ventilated seats, memory seats, the works. There is not a lot that they've left out of this vehicle, and it's something you really have to experience, especially with the economy that the hybrid brings you. Now, we'll talk about the price tag at the end, and it is not small. But before we get there, let's talk about what's under the hood. Okay, so under the hood, what you'll find is the 3.5-liter V6 engine mated to the Lexus hybrid drivetrain system. This gives you 295 total system horsepower. That's combining the gasoline motor with the electric motor. And because we have the RX 450h all-wheel drive, yes, that is the surprise of this Real First Impressions video review, is that this is an all-wheel drive SUV hybrid. And that gives you a lot of extra capability out in the more snowy climates or rainy climates. So what you're going to have here is front and rear electric drive motors. That really only drops your MPG about 2 miles per gallon in the city and 1 in the combined rating. So what you're going to have from Lexus on this vehicle, and the EPA I should say, is 30 miles per gallon city, 28 miles per gallon highway, and a 29 mile per gallon combined. Not bad. And you mate that to the continuously variable transmission, and you have a pretty smooth ride in this 450h from Lexus. From driving this vehicle, hitting the road in the 2013 Lexus 450h all-wheel drive, as we said, well, you wouldn't know it was all-wheel drive, and you really wouldn't know that it's a hybrid except for the fact that you can turn it to that quintessential eco mode, and you get all the different interior gauges that show you the, your instant fuel economy, whether it's in battery mode, EV mode, or whether it's switching back and forth. You've got all of those key indicators that this is a hybrid. But if you put this in sport mode or in normal mode, and you just drive it like you would any other SUV, you're going to not really notice. And with the CVT, it's going to be super smooth, and power's going to be on tap. Now, when you put it in eco mode, you dumb down the throttle, if you will. You make it, basically, you have to press harder on the pedal to get the same performance. It's helping you be more economic. And it also means that you're going to be going a lot slower right off the line. However, I will tell you, you really tromp on this vehicle, whether in eco mode or not, and it really does get up to speed. 295 total system horsepower is quite the big amount for an SUV of this size, and honestly, from a steering and ride perspective, it rides well, it soaks up bumps well, it's quiet inside, and the steering is a nice balance, especially for this size of SUV. And, well, from a first impressions perspective anyway, it is one of the nicer ones out on the market. But we'll have to do some more investigation with our real video, the real review, so make sure you stay tuned for that. We'll have the wrap-up coming up next.
All right, so that is the Real First Impressions video edition of the 2013 RX 450h. As we said before, it is a hybrid. It does get 30 miles per gallon in town, which is pretty impressive for a crossover SUV, well, CUV technically. That's what the crossover is a crossover utility vehicle. It does have a 29 mile per gallon combined fuel rating, and a lot of cool luxury features like the video screens in the back seat to entertain your children. Or your adult passengers who are unruly. Could be used for either. With Lexus, you have the quality of the Toyota hybrid drive system. So this is the Lexus version, but it is underpinned by the Toyota Foundation. And at $64,339, this is an expensive vehicle, right up there with other vehicles like the Land Rover which we've tested on our site before, the Range Rover in the Sport. So you have a lot of competition with this vehicle, but not many of them will get this 30 miles per gallon in town. It's a nice drive, kind of heavy steering, but all in all, it's a good looking vehicle that has gone through several generations of redesigns and still pleases the consumer public. So if you're in the market for one, check one out and make sure you stay tuned for our real video, the real review, right here on Real Auto Reports with me, Jonathan McGrew. And until then, we'll see you down the road.